Hola. You are live.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome. I know some of you guys will be trickling in. Some of you guys want to catch this on the replay. I just want to invite you guys and thank you guys for coming to join our conversation on culture, travel, and hospitality, three of our favorite conversational pieces. Today we have two of our favorite all-time Airbnb guests joining us to beautiful conversation. They are both aviation safety personnel, so we wanted them to come on and give us some tidbits on what we can do to rejoin the travel safely, as well as just kind of talk about their travel plans, where they travel to, and just their love of culture and hospitality as well. So before we jump into the interview with them, we're going to go ahead and introduce ourselves because for some of you, this is your first time seeing our beautiful faces. My name is Lola Oladipo, and this is my twin sister,
Ty Oladipo.
and we are the co-founders of the TL Hospitality Group, which is a short-term Airbnb rental company here in beautiful Philadelphia. We combine travel, hospitality, and cultural immersive experiences into a brand that we believe will change the world. We recently launched our online brand, Urbanity Lush. So my sister's going to share a little bit about what Urbanity Lush is.
All right. So Urbanity Lush is our virtual arm to our brand. And we just did a soft launch with our Urbanity Lush travel guides, which if you want to get them, they are available. They're a 2-in-1 guide from featuring a few fun attractions in Philadelphia. And then it's kind of set up as if you're traveling to Puerto Rico. So you can see the lovely attractions there. So if you happen to want to get our Urbanity Lush travel guide, what you'll do is email us at hello@the tlhgroup.com. But you want to wait, do that after we're done this interview because we want you here with us. All right. So that is a part of our soft launch for our Urbanity Lush, which is our travel guides. All right, Lola. You wanted to share a little bit about why we started the travel guide?
Yeah. So there's always a why. So, as Airbnb hosts, we've had the opportunity to have people in our home from all over the country, all over the globe, and they have influenced us. They have influenced our taste as far as like culture and even things that we like to eat and experience. And some of our guests have just been so wonderful that we were like, wow, it would be amazing if we could travel to some of their countries. So we decided to create a travel guide based on some of the countries that we plan to travel to, as well as some of the countries we've already traveled to. So the travel guide is heavily influenced by our experiences with our guests. So we had a Puerto Rican stay with us a couple of years ago, actually, and she was just so sweet, so loving, and just talked really warm about the culture on the island of Puerto Rico and the food and the music, and we were like, hey, we got to go there. So we finally had the opportunity to travel there in November. So we curated this amazing travel guide that features over 17 different venues, culture, activities, and restaurants that you guys can check out. So again, head over to send us a quick email to hello@the tlhgroup.com to get your Urbanity Lush travel guide. All right, so now that we've done our introduction, it's time to put our wonderful Airbnb guests on the hot seat. So, Andrey, and Jiyeon, I know I practiced that. Can you tell me a little bit about yourselves and I guess, a little bit about yourselves, your love story in particular, because I know we're all like interested in that. And what do you do for a living?
Sure. You want to hear about a love story with this guy, or? Well, I'm Andrey, and this is Jiyeon. So I'm originally Russian. I've been in the U.S. for 6 years. We've both been actually in the U.S. for 6 years. Coming up shortly on the 6 years here. I did my undergrad actually in Europe, in Latvia. It's a small country in the northeast of Europe, and then came over here for master's. And then Jiyeon was here on her first semester as an exchange student, so that's how we met. We went to the same school, and she came back as a full-time student. Yeah, so that was a fun experience. And so, yeah, so we both got degrees in airline operations and the safety. Been working in the safety field and basically safety management side and the operations as well. And that's pretty much it. So doing audits, risk management, that type of stuff. And then Jiyeon works a lot. I'll let her talk a little bit more about her stuff.
Okay.
She does work with airlines a lot.
Yeah, I usually work with an airline or multiple airlines like
Right.
Air and Pittman before as a safety intern and dispatcher. But for now, I work as a client success specialist at a safety system software company. So I work with airlines right now.
Okay. Can you
My
guys just kind of elaborate more on what you guys do as far as your professions? Because that's kind of, they may be a little bit complicated to understand. So what exactly does safety aviation personnel do?
So there are a lot of areas, and in the safety side, safety management is kind of a big aspect of airline operation. Some of the things that people do, like a typical safety department in an airline does, is audits of the company. So making sure that the regulations are being followed, the safety policies and procedures are being followed. There's also a big part of it is safety reporting, either voluntary or mandatory. So if you may have heard of something, it's if you see something, say something. That's really a lot. What's going on with airlines right now is trying to promote that mentality of something's wrong, you got to report it so we can fix it before it turns into something really bad. And then the third element of it would be that we've both kind of worked closely with is risk management aspects. So every time you make a change within the company, you got to make sure that you're not, you're trying to fix something, but you're not actually introducing more hazards and more safety issues with making changes on one side. So trying to balance it out. And then if you want to talk about in operations and your dispatch experience and
yeah, like to make a airplane to fly, there actually are so many steps to do before the flight, such as I need to check the weather, check the weight and balance and fuel, and that is basically on how many people are there and what kind of maintenance or capability of that aircraft type is. So I have to calculate everything, and when that airplane is ready to fly, then I print the flight release to the flight crew, and they cannot fly without the release.
Wow.
So yeah, have to be ready.
Our lives are in your hands.
You're the one that gives them the
Previously, not anymore. Now I work for the aviation system company. And then once the airplane is in the sky, then from there I have to keep my eyes on there, tracking them to see whether there are any storms are coming or any miscommunication between controllers or not. Because even when they cannot talk to the air traffic controllers, they can still talk to us through the printing system. So they send us messages, and if it comes to me, then I just listen to them what they need and where they need to land if needed for the emergency landing.
So she's basically testing pilots as they fly. That's really what she was doing.
That's a really important part, because you're like helping things to stay smooth and connected. You're kind of like fielding the blind spots for the pilots, right? So make sure that they what they need to do. Yeah, that's pretty important. Well, as passengers, right? Since you guys are in aviation safety, passengers, we can't control the weather. We can't control if the plane is ready to fly. But I wanted to know from you guys, what should we as passengers, as we travel, what kind of safety things should we be aware of as we get ready to travel?
Well, so yeah, as you mentioned, there's a lot of factors that you can't control, but you get a choice of an airline. You really you can pick which airline you go with, and so look from that perspective. And really, if you look at the domestic or U.S. airlines, major airlines they try to adhere to the standards, and they have to follow regulations that the FAA, the Federal Aviation Administration, is imposing on them. So, really, the last major aircraft accident they can think of in the U.S. was in November of 2001. So it's been almost 20 years.
Oh, wow.
So, and even then, if you think of, there have been regional aircraft accidents since then. But if you think about that, a lot of that, whatever they happened, there have been changes that happened over time as a result of them. So there's the continuous improvement. And then, as I mentioned, right now airlines are trying to focus on the proactive side as to being reactive. And so on top of that, the FAA maintains the FAA, which is the U.S. Aviation Agency. There's also the European Aviation Safety Agency. They maintain a list of airlines that they would ban from their airspace. Right. So basically, how they do that is they measure how the airlines comply with the international safety standards. And so if they don't, then they prohibit airlines from flying into their airspace. So if you look at that list, you kind of know which airlines you might want to be avoiding.
Okay. And I think that's really important for especially those of us who travel internationally, because I know that some of those airlines may be banned here, but they may still be able to fly in other countries. And I think it's just important for you guys to know, for us to know, okay, which airlines are banned, because it can lead to some pretty catastrophic situations. It just reminded me of a story that happened, I would say 3 or 4 years ago, two Nigerian women, sisters. They reminded me so much of my sister and I, who traveled to Nigeria, and they were on a airline. I don't know if it was banned or not, but this airline crashed and they were killed instantly. And it was just such a very sad story. And I just think we have to be mindful of those things when we're traveling internationally, especially if we're traveling inside that country, just being aware of what, which airlines are actually have been vetted. Right?
Yeah. Because I think the attraction of traveling while you're within the country is because it's cheaper to buy your flights once you're in that country to like visit neighboring countries. So that was something that I don't think I would have considered beforehand. Is this airline safe or not? You're excited about the adventure. So that's a really good tip for people to stick in their back pocket.
So speaking of travel, where have you two lovelies traveled over the last year? I know that we've been in the midst of a pandemic, but from your Facebook post, you did not let that stop you guys from getting out in this beautiful country. You guys been to some great attractions. So please share with us where are some places that you guys have visited.
So during the last pandemic, we bought a van and we converted the van to a camper. So that helped us a lot to decrease the chance to meet people socially, because of the pandemic. So we had our own man cave, which was really safe, but it's just house, but which can be everywhere.
Okay.
So we made it to 46 states.
Yep.
Wow.
During the pandemic.
Not all of the 46 states in the pandemic. Some states we already visited before, but we usually visited most of during the pandemic.
So while everyone was hunkering down in 2020, you guys were traveling. I love it.
It's just, we had to take the chance because that was the only opportunity we would have to actually, leave on the road.
Either time or no money.
Right. So. Yeah, it's always like that.
So where did you guys go specifically?
North Dakota, South Dakota.
So we're in Dallas, and so it was kind of actually a great location because you can go pretty much anywhere, and it's about the same distance. So, I think we started with Yellowstone.
Yeah.
So we kind of went to Yellowstone through Salt Lake City, and then checked out the national park, and then down to Denver and back to Dallas, and then South Dakota and
North Dakota, and then did that like Milwaukee,
Oh
Indian
wow.
cities, like
Yeah.
making another loop and then
Right.
back to home again.
The Midwest, basically the whole
Right.
Midwest.
And then again, we did another set of trip to Maine.
Yeah, and that was the
Oh.
coolest. We went from Dallas to Maine.
Mhm.
Oh
Um,
my gosh. How long did it take you guys to make that trip?
That one, yeah,
Mhm.
that one took about a
Let me
month.
guess. 5 days.
No, we would just travel a few hours and then explore and stay. So we did.
You
And then
made a good trip of
We
it.
also we went through Chicago, so that was like a northern route,
Mhm.
and then Upper Michigan as well, Upper Peninsula. So
So why
try to
Maine? Why did Maine need to be the final destination for that leg of the trip?
Just
That
to
was
come to
amazing.
stay, but
Right.
that was the original reason. But actually, that became my favorite state in the USA ever.
Are you
Yeah.
serious? Maine? Oh no. What is so amazing about Maine? Like, I need to know.
I don't want to state it like directly, but let's say you can compare the people in Texas versus Maine.
Okay. So who's nicer?
She is-
Like, you know
My
what?
favorite is Maine. I'll put it in that way.
Aw.
All right.
lifestyle.
Maine.
Yeah.
Maine.
And then
Wow.
I'm a good person, and so yeah, the nature in Maine is something you don't really like. I didn't expect it to be that, but it was really
I think
gorgeous.
it's really balanced between like city life and also like nature life, and
Right.
not that crowded, but not too rural at the same
Yeah.
time. So
I
Yeah,
heard there's an amazing lobster up there. Did you guys try any of the lobster?
Vermont,
That's
Maine.
Vermont.
I think mostly. Well, you guys know you've been. to
What are they
Maine. We
known
went to
for?
Vermont.
Look, we asking you guys. We're from America. We don't know what Maine is for.
Maine is known for Stephen King,
Say that
the
again.
writer. Stephen King writer.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
There.
That makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So beyond Maine, did you have any other favorite travel spots that you guys went to?
Too many to count.
Mhm. South Dakota was kind of cool.
Yeah.
The Mother Nature. And
Yeah. So and yeah, that there's one thing in South Dakota. It's called the Badlands, and it's very like it's less known, so it's kind of deserted, but it's really interesting because it's like I don't know, kind of like a Grand Canyon maybe, but it's version of it. It's not like that big, but it's kind of its version, and then you got the prairies around it too. So,
right. And also Yellowstone.
yeah, of course the
Yeah,
Yellowstone
Yellowstone
Park.
was really Yellowstone.
So you guys sound like you took a trip that was that really caters to nature lovers. Because a lot of what you're saying, you're reflecting on like the nature.
Did you guys do a lot of
environment.
camping? Did you guys do?
Yeah.
Is that you?
Nature has some Wi-Fi or like data.
Yeah.
Like,
Wi-Fi. Can't go anywhere.
In today's age, yeah, definitely, because that's how people are staying connected
Yes.
and working. Yeah,
Right.
if they have that.
Yeah, but, I mean, yeah, that's part of having a van. You want to be somewhere out in the nature where you can't go to normally.
Mm.
So, because you have everything with you, so you just park, go to sleep, or have dinner, watching the sunset, and then go to sleep. And
Oh my God, this sounds magical.
Wow.
Watching the sunset. Where have you guys traveled internationally?
it's really different. We just went to Korea together. That's it when it
Right.
comes to us.
yeah,
But
she's from Korea, so I just
visited me. And when it comes to him, you're like Europe usually, right?
yeah, mostly Europe. I think, yeah, a little bit of Middle East, but not a lot.
And also
Okay.
Cambodia,
Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka.
Yeah, I think that was
And me,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
yeah, it's me. When it comes to me, I'm like Asia, of course, like Taiwan, China, Mongolia, Japan, Hong
Wow.
Kong.
Amazing.
So that was my travel.
Did you have a question that you
I
wanted to
did.
ask
When you guys did those international trips, were they mostly like academic, like you were studying abroad, or was it leisure travel? What were you traveling? What was the
Or-
motivation? I guess.
Both.
what category would they fall in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, for me, it was mostly leisure, just visiting friends or just going on vacation. I
Okay.
think you did more of
Studying abroad, that was the first chance that I came to the US. I traveled here before only California State, but that was my first ever living somewhere else. So
Yeah.
that was a really great chance for me to do the exchange student program. That's where I met him.
Okay.
And
See, it pays to go abroad, right? You might
Oh,
find.
yeah.
yeah, and I also did some backpacking travel. Like with the backpack, I just went to China. I mean, China actually it was also sort of like a language exchange program too. But
Okay.
to Taiwan and Hong Kong, I used guest house or hosting and met a lot of travelers there. And it was really my eye opener because I was always raised in Korea only under like Asian family traditionally, and when I traveled to Hong Kong for the first time ever, not using like a family trip or like not hotel or without a trip package, which Asians usually use a lot.
Mhm.
I used the co-ed dormitory, and then it was really surprising to me because in Korea usually guys don't take their shirt off except some particular environment like swimming pool. Of course, guys take off their shirts, but like not on the bed in a room where there is another girl. And when I was there, I was the only Asian. I was the only girl out of like 8 people in a dormitory room. And
Wow.
people, oh, this is so humid and this is so hot. I go to sleep without a shirt, and they took their shirts off. I'm like, oh my god, I cannot open my eyes. Like this is different from India. Yeah, so it was really fun. It was really shocking, but in a good way. So I made friends. I made a lot of friends there, and still some of them we keep in touch with each other, and some of them even visited Korea and met me there.
Oh, nice.
They were like German, American, Israeli, and many people who were traveling.
Wow. Awesome.
Yeah, and we even met Yumi together.
Right. Yeah.
She was. I met her in Hong Kong, in the same hostel, and then she
One of your
visited Korea, staying
one
in
of
my home.
Current friends now? Are you talking
She's
about a
in-
friend that
Yeah.
She's American, but we met
Okay.
in Hong Kong while I was traveling. So she
okay.
visited Korea, and then we met in the USA again all together, and now she's in Brazil.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
wow. Cool.
Okay.
Yeah, you
So
definitely on the
Yeah.
range.
I think your Airbnb place also can be such a platform for international people to make a
You're
great
right.
memories. Because
Yeah.
while I was staying there, we also met some good people there staying
yeah.
staying their home.
Internationals,
So
too.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
awesome.
I think
I just
one
want
of
to
the
share this, like letting people know that if you want some international friends or some special memories while you're traveling Philadelphia, your
Yeah.
place is the perfect one.
absolutely
Yes.
because we're in University City, which
Mhm.
is a very diverse area, and the school attracts not just University City, but what is it?
University of
Sciences, Drexel,
Penn.
Penn,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So we're a reservoir over here. Of just
Yeah.
culture.
I remember one time we had a house, we had a few house guests, and I think there were two different times. One was we had someone that was staying here from Italy, a guy from Italy, Silvio, and a girl. She was actually getting her doctorate from UPenn, and she was here from Spain. And the combination of having those two in the house was so much fun.
It was so
There was
intoxicating.
never a dry moment.
Yes.
We shared meals together. The guy from Italy, I will never forget his interesting sense of humor. He was always like talking about morbid and dry, but he was a character. But it was a fun time to exchange those different cultural backgrounds.
And I think that's a great segue into our next topic when we want to talk to you guys about just kind of that culture piece. So we're, as a brand, we really are passionate about culture immersive experiences and, engaging those cultures through travel, right? we don't want people just to travel just for the sake of travel, but to do it meaningfully by being intentional, in immersing themselves in other people's experiences, so that we believe that when you do that, you come away with a better understanding of the world, a better understanding of yourself. You become more empathetic, right? More understanding. At least that's been our experience as Airbnb hosts. Like, because of our experiences of hosting people from different backgrounds, from that of our own different experiences, we've come away really just, I would say, just richer. We've had these really rich encounters, and so we want to invite other people to have these similar experiences. So it definitely sounds like you guys are on brand. You guys are already immersing yourselves in different cultures and learning from different cultures. So I guess my question for you is, how has your cultural immersive experiences like changed you, opened your understanding, made you a better human being?
That's a good question. Just as you mentioned, there's a lot to learn from other cultures, and it's just, it opens your mind to being more accepting and more curious about other people and how they treat themselves, how they treat each other and others in their community. So I think it was just. I mean, I love traveling and I love meeting people from different cultures specifically for that reason, is that you get to get different perspective on the same thing. So
yeah, I mean, it definitely opened my eyes, because before I met him, we always think like Russians are really rude, and now I'm dating with Russians, so
See, you have to open yourself up. Yeah, we all have like these cultural biases and stereotypes, and when we don't, when we're not intentional about engaging people who are different from us, right? We can kind of move throughout the world with those biases and not intentionally all the time. So I definitely think that engaging cross-culturally helps to break down those biases and stereotypes, and then you might end up with a Russian boyfriend.
I think it also, it's a way of having. So if I'm engaging cross-culturally and I'm aware of the stereotype of that particular group, I can hear from that group member or culture member from that culture. I can hear from them, like, where did that come from? Is there any truth from that? And I get to learn a wider story of that culture from the person that belongs to that particular people group. If
I think too. I know for me, it makes me a better ally. Like if I have some context or experience with a people group outside of like what I've seen on the news or what I've read, I'm more likely to be drawn to their issue or be concerned about their issue. So, for example, we know there's been a rise in Asian hate crime throughout the country, and it just reminded me of my own personal experience of relating with a pastor of ours. His name is Paul Kim. He was Korean, and he was just such a beautiful personality. He's not dead or anything; he's still alive. But
he moved back to
South Korea. So we miss him so much, but just having that encounter and being able to engage him and engage
I
the
think
culture.
we learned a little bit about hospitality from, like, you talk about eyes open.
Yes.
I mean, the way they tripped over themselves to serve us, to make sure that we were, okay, always provide, like, giving us food. And I mean, it was amazing.
Yeah, we
like
love
the hospitality.
The
So I think that was our first introduction to Korean culture.
Yeah, so I definitely feel like it has helped me become more just aware of some of the issues that my Asian brothers and sisters, encounter and want to get involved and want to learn about how I can be a better ally, right? Did we have another question for them?
Oh, I thought you was gonna go into that. The George.
Oh, well, I'm going to skip that question. I have another question for you too. So you guys are cross-cultural, cross-ethnic couple. So I guess my question for you guys is, what have been some of the challenges that you guys have experienced in blending your two cultures? What are some things that you love about each other's cultures,
And what are
have
some challenges?
The most thing that I love about the culture here in USA is that they say hello, how are you? Like on the street, like in Korea, we
Oh.
try not to stare at each other. We don't talk to strangers. But here, if I just drive or walk, then they just wave at me or say, how are you to me? I'm like,
Right.
I don't know you. Or like at the first time I came, I didn't respond. Like, I don't know you, so I don't talk to you. But nowadays, I feel like that's another hospitality and like a really good neighborship, I like to say.
Yeah.
So it's really easy to get closer to each other.
Mhm.
Community is pretty stronger here than where I am from. So that's one thing that I really like.
What about
What are the
Russian?
similarities? What are the similarities between the Korean and the Russian cultures?
Are there
Similar.
any?
Russian.
Yeah, like have we found any similarity?
Not a lot.
That'd be
I think-
commonality.
I think one thing that's kind of well, I don't want to say shocker, but definitely unique about the Korean culture to me, and I think it kind of expands to all Asian cultures, is just how much attention is paid to age of the person you're talking to and the person communicating with, and how much respect is paid to the elderly. So
Yeah.
we have that in Russia, but it was interesting the extent to which it is in Korea. Like I can't formally, I can't say her name because she's older than me. I just have to use special terms for that. So I think it's a similarity in terms of we have different terms for people who are older than you. So in English, it's you always. And Russian, you have a different you for a person you're friends with and a person who is older than you and whom you respect.
Oh wow.
So,
Okay.
so they're kind of similar, but still, we can use names with other people even they're older than us.
We are more strict.
Yeah.
Well, there's a similarity to Nigerian culture. There's a high esteem for people who are older, and like we're never supposed to really call our elders, like you said, by their name, by their first name.
Or their name in general.
We have to call them
Everybody's
uncle.
auntie and uncle.
Yeah, and no matter how old you become,
Yeah.
you still need to respect them. So yeah, there is a similarity there, which I don't think we have as much here in the United
Yeah.
States. There is some of that depending on, the community or the family that you're a part of. But yeah,
So
it's a little bit more
so
than that.
spill the tea. We want to hear some things that are difficult about each of your cultures that you just don't like. You care less for. You can take it or leave it.
I think it's individualism here. That's the biggest difference that I have
Okay.
experienced in Korea.
Right.
We put us prior to me,
Yeah.
myself. And that was really obvious after the pandemic because I was really shocked that people had trouble with wearing masks. And of course, it's uncomfortable to me to wear that, but I just do it for the community and for the society because usually Asians consider ourselves like we are one of the people instead of like I am the one. Yes. So
Yeah.
for myself, I also have to respect where I belong to, but I think it's a little bit different here in the USA. Like myself is the most important or what I need to respect, and then if I don't give any negative impact on others, it's okay not to care of, or if
Right.
I care, it's better, but it's not like required.
Mhm.
So I can see pros and cons at the same time. Like sometimes in Korea, I feel like there is no me. Like I have to focus on others first, which is not a good thing. But when it comes to the moment that we really need to take care of the connections or communities and that part works extremely well.
So yeah.
So I think that's sort of challenges in certain situations, not always, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
just
Yeah, definitely. Americans tend to be, very individualistic, and a lot of other cultures, a lot of Asian cultures that we've encountered, they're very collective, right? So
Mhm.
you saw that kind of play out when the pandemic initially, arrived here in America. There was like this whole battle over it's my individual right not to wear a mask. And then for other people, it's like, well, we need to wear a mask
It
for the
was that
collective.
challenge.
It
Like,
was
are
like
we
those-
going to come together as a collective,
Yeah,
or are we
or-
going to do our individual
Yeah,
thing?
so I think those
the
are
right was life and death.
Yeah.
So it's really,
Yeah,
really
it's very
interesting.
clear. We wore our masks, by the way. We're gonna, okay.
Yeah, but it was a little bit scary to me at the very beginning of pandemic because not many people were wearing masks, and I am especially Asian, and it was pretty scary to walk alone on the street with mask on my face because people were like staring at me. Oh, there must be Chinese here.
Oh, wow.
So
Wow.
yeah, that's why I'm still with him. I need a white person next to me. So
Yeah.
You did not wear a mask.
Not in the beginning, I think.
yeah, he didn't like to because I had
You warmed up to it.
yeah because
I just didn't feel comfortable wearing
yeah,
it,
but at the same time, like even Dr. Fauci at the very beginning said like we don't really need to wear a mask because we have to save some masks for hospitals. That's what the first article was.
There was a
Yeah.
lot of
Yeah, this naive one believed that. So yeah, he didn't like to wear the mask, and it took some time for me to convince him to wear. But yeah, not
That's just the Korean nature, very convincing.
because I saw two different reactions from Korea and here in the USA. And in Korea, people were panicked.
Right.
Once there is a COVID, people were panicked and everybody wore mask, and there was even like lack of mask because people were buying too many. But here it was pretty opposite. Like, why do you wear mask? Are you afraid of it? Like, yes, I'm afraid of it, and also for you.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
I definitely think that your culture like influenced how you responded to the pandemic, right? And we saw that in real time. And I feel like those collective nations, they did a little bit better. Well, they did better than the more individualistic, because we were at one point here in the United States, we were leading in COVID-19 infections. And I think that's why we had to really work hard to get a vaccine, because they knew that the majority of Americans were not going to cover their faces. So we were like, let's find a cure for this as quickly as possible. So let's segue. You want to segue into hospitality? So you guys stayed with us in our home back in 2018, right?
2000. Yeah, 2018, right?
Right after graduate, yeah.
Tell us why did you come stay in our home? Like what brought you to Philadelphia at that time?
Well,
I think the biggest, the best thing was about pet friendly. It was pet friendly, right?
And I came to Philadelphia because I just got a job, so that was like an exciting.
Yeah.
I think you had an internship back then, right, in Cleveland. So
yes.
That was,
okay. You had just graduated from undergrad, correct?
For masters, yeah.
Masters.
Oh, what school did you go to? You went to was it University of Florida?
It was Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University. It's in Daytona.
Yes. So, all coming back now. All coming back.
Right. So yeah, I think it was the pet friendly. There was location that was pretty central to everything.
Yeah, especially when it comes to his workplace was airport. So
yeah, I didn't want to be too far in the traffic all the time. So. And the hosts were really awesome. So.
Oh, cool.
The review was good.
Yeah, the reviews and the description was really that I think kind of outside of all those factors that really attracted us to is just
Yeah, and also it's really difficult to find somewhere or like welcoming pets, and that was really great. And
Can we see your pets?
Yeah.
They have the cutest
there we are.
babies.
Here's one.
not only that, and also like having the backyard, which was really awesome.
Like,
Yeah, they
that
love
caught my eyes.
so yeah, there was. He misses you. Talks about you all the time.
Yes, we miss it too.
Well, you guys might have already mentioned this, but what was the most enjoyable or best part of your stay here at our Airbnb?
So before we chose there, it was pet friendly area and the location. But after then, we were really satisfied because good people, of course, first of all, and it was really clean inside, right?
Right. Yeah.
And it was always, I mean, whenever you cook, it's always good smell. That's
Love it.
It was
You
really
still-
great to know that I always
Scent in your nostrils.
So, Jiyeon, you used to come up for weekend date a weekend day trip every now and then. What are some of the things that you guys got to do while you were here? Do you remember that while you were here?
I was all for going to that Korean town
yeah.
in Philly.
That's right.
Oh,
Did you make it? Did you go?
Yeah, there's H Mart.
H Mart.
H Mart.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And there is also really popular statue like Love statue there.
Yeah. So a lot of
And
downtown.
Philly steak.
Yep. So yeah, the cheesesteaks.
Mhm.
Oh, they had the Philly cheesesteak. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then we also did. I mean, we would try to explore downtown while we were at it. And there's a nice dog park. I mean,
Okay.
everything about us is everything that's good for dogs. But there was just good, nice things we could explore and just walk
Right.
around
And also downtown, like if once you go to downtown, you don't need any traffic because
yeah.
everything is like
I mean, you didn't
close
need
to
car,
each
right?
other.
Yeah.
I mean, I always walk there to see the
Right.
museums and.
It is a very walkable city downtown. Like,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Drive downtown, take the train.
Wow. Well, we definitely enjoyed having you guys in our home. You guys were two of our most memorable guests. You just came and never left our hearts.
Well, Andrey was there.
Yeah,
Andrey stayed.
but we,
Well-
Jiyeon, no, we hosted you by proxy because you were up every weekend, touring Philadelphia. So yeah, we just want to thank you guys for taking this time to just come on and talk to us about again our favorite topics and share with us kind of where you guys have traveled to. We just love you guys, love your energy, love your relationship. Beautiful. Before we head out, we have two things that we want to do. First, we want to invite you guys to invite our guests to follow us. But this is the creative part. You're going to do it in your native languages.
Who's gonna go first?
So,
All right.
Have to.
Yeah. You want to go first?
Lady first.
yeah,
Yeah, that's the Korean humor for you.
That was not even a humor.
All right.
You go ahead.
Друзья, я вас всех приглашаю подписаться на канал Urbanity Lush. Хорошие люди, очень интересный контент и всегда интересный материал, так что всем советую обязательно.
woohoo!
Who's gonna interpret?
Just the nice things, don't worry.
Okay, it's my turn, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
안녕하세요, 한국 여러분들. 필라델피아에 오실 때 항상 얼바이티 러시 트래벨을 이용해 주시면 좋겠고요. 제가 있어봤는데 정말 깨끗하고 좋고 교통도 정말 좋았어요. 좋은 추억이 되실 거라고 생각합니다. 구독하시고 좋아요 눌러주세요.
I know. I think she beat you. She beat you.
Oh my gosh, you
That was
guys!
amazing. You guys,
She always does.
you know how you guys do our commercials. Okay?
Oh, no. I don't know what you said, but that was amazing.
Yes.
I love the sound of language.
Yes.
I just love that there's so many different languages out there.
Mhm.
I don't even have to know what is being said. It's just
Music.
it's
Music
just
to our
beautiful.
ears,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
So that being
but
said,
I would
I'm
like
sorry.
a translation. Could you translate?
they
Fair.
just said we invite you to follow Urbanity Lush at Hello.
Is that what you said?
Yeah, yeah.
Pretty much.
I don't know what she said, but I said it.
Okay. I'm trying to get to the good part. Is she, okay? Are we
Yeah,
ready?
they're not answering, so I don't know if I'm going to get a
I know, we
translation.
said the good things. Don't worry.
Yeah.
We just said to subscribe and
Okay,
always
we
follow because we got
I
good
said
stuff,
something
good
good.
content.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Drum roll.
All right.
So we have a
That was a
special
drum roll.
gift for you guys.
All right.
What is that?
So this
Wow.
is our seasonal hospitality Pamper Me box that we love to give away. We do it quarterly, and we typically usually do a raffle. We give it away to a worthy brand champion, brand enthusiast. And so we just wanted to get you guys with this box from our partners, Fat Fit and Fun. It's seasonal, summer, things for your skin. It's a his and hers box. We came up with the his stuff because they didn't have too many his stuff. So we bought
You a love pillow
Andrey
that represents
a travel pillow.
travel pillow from
Oh,
the
yeah.
culture
love
in the
that.
Love Park here in
Yeah.
Philadelphia.
We even got some toys, some stuffed animals for y'all being in this guy.
Yeah, they're gonna love that.
And this is some face products and skin products for Jiyeon. So you guys will be getting this in the mail. We just want to again thank you guys for
Thank you.
Thank you.
sharing your story, sharing your beautiful relationship with us.
It was a pleasure to talk to you, and thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you for inviting us. I'm glad to be here.
All right, make sure you you guys are following us, right? Make sure you follow us. Go ahead and pick up our travel guide. We suggest you guys go to Puerto Rico, put that on your itinerary to go to.
Yes, we have
It's
some very fun.
a beautiful, beautiful island. You're gonna love it. Okay.
Absolutely. And the guide will be a great
Yeah.
resource should you choose to grab one. I'm going to plug this one more time. For those of you watching, if you want one of the Urbanity Lush travel guides, email us at hello@thetlhgroup.com and we will send that right over to you. All right.
Love you guys.
Thanks again.
Thank
Have
you.
everyone.
Bye.
Enjoy your day.
All right, see ya.
All right.